Hello, friends. Welcome back to Love Wrestling. Spencer Love here with one of the up and coming, one of the breakout, one of the any word you choose to put on it, stars of Ring of Honor, Infinite Eli Isom on the show. I'm really excited to chat with you today because you're certainly someone I've enjoyed watching through the past 4 years, but really since the return of Ring of Honor full force in March, you've been a guy I think a lot of individuals have been really excited about. So I'm excited to have you on the show. Before we dive into anything, man, how are you doing? How are things as we start to return to normal here in the world?
Yeah, doing good. Trying to stay cool. It's really hot here.
Oh man, we went through a heat wave up here in Edmonton about 3 weeks ago. I'm bad with Fahrenheit to Celsius, but it was about 38, 39 degrees up here Celsius. And let me tell you, I'm a good Canadian. I'm good up until about plus 15, and after that, I'm out of her.
I'm from the Midwest in the United States, so it's usually like the winter times are brutal. So I'm kind of used to colder weather, but now that I live out near Philadelphia, it's just blazing.
Yeah. Blazing. Well, glad to hear you're staying cool, man. Lots, like I said, I want to chat about on Ring of Honor's end, but a personal anniversary for you. A couple of days ago, you had your 4-year anniversary of your debut match. Is it surreal to you? What do you sort of feel when you see that anniversary come and go?
It is surreal because it feels a lot longer than 4 years, but then again, it feels like it just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah, that match was it was real special because it was with some of the dojo guys that I had trained with and started with. And it was in like a little small venue in New Jersey. And yeah, it was just, it was fun stuff. All my trainers were there to watch it. And yeah, definitely a good memory.
Now, obviously, you'd improve inside the ring. You'd learn a lot since that point. But if you could travel back in time to July 17th, what would you say to young Eli Isom? What advice would you maybe give him before he stepped inside the ring for his first official match?
Oh, man. I would tell him not to yell, "Come on," as soon as he came out of the curtain. I would definitely tell him that. I would also tell him, take your time, slow down, feel out the crowd and stuff like that, because I definitely rushed a few things. But yeah, just tell him to keep his cool. It's okay. Everything will be okay, and you'll get through it.
Is that where you maybe feel you've improved the most as a professional wrestler? Again, I know it's pretty easy, to learn the mechanics and improve in that sense of things. But is it the timing? Is it, I don't feel qualified to use the phrase psychology, but maybe would that be where you've seen the most improvement yourself?
I would say so. Yeah, I would say just like being comfortable out there has been my biggest improvement ever since I came back this year for Ring of Honor. But yeah, I used to kind of just really timid and kind of generic, I guess you could say. But now that I've had time to wrestle and I've had time to work with a lot of great wrestlers, it's helped me improve. It's really helped me, just calm down and be more comfortable while I'm out there.
How do you work on that sort of stuff throughout a pandemic? Like, it feels like it'd be pretty difficult to, sit and look in a proverbial mirror and cut a promo every day and try and learn promo work and character work that way. So maybe how did you do it? Is it study film? Is it watch great promos from the past? Or how did you find yourself keeping in the mental side of things?
Yeah, it was really hard, especially because I was in Indiana. I had flown back just so like I would be close to my family in case anything, were to happen. So but like, yeah, I would just watch old film of myself and I would just be like, "Ooh, oh, that doesn't look good. Ooh, that doesn't look good." I'll do it.
Was it awkward for you at all?
Yes, very, very much so. Yeah. But it helped a lot because watching myself, I could just, just break down and pick apart everything I was doing wrong and then just, improve on the things I was doing right. So I think that was a major help because beforehand, I wasn't really watching myself per se, just like, critically anyway. I would watch my be like, "Oh, there I am. I'm a wrestler now. It's kind of cool."
Hey guys, come watch this.
Exactly. But yeah, during the pandemic, I could really just, focus in on what I needed to improve on. And I think I've done that so far.
Absolutely. Take me through your experience training at the Ring of Honor dojo, because a lot of individuals I've chatted with in the past have wildly different experiences just in how the dojo operated. Now it would sort of act, I think, in your direct path, I guess, to Ring of Honor, where in the past it maybe wasn't so much of that. So was that your experience? Was it more of a training school and you had to work for Ring of Honor, or how did that sort of come for you?
So when I first started, it was located in Bristol, Pennsylvania. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
located in Baltimore, and it's just this, state of the art, very nice facility. But in Bristol, it's like in this upper building of this warehouse, and there's like no windows or air conditioning, like anything like that. But yeah, it was very like earn your spot and pay your dues type of a situation. So we would train 4 days a week. And then, when Ring of Honor had shows, the dojo guys would, be there to catch streamers and set up the ring and tear down the ring. And sometimes we were there till like 2 o'clock in the morning, just like doing all these things. And so it was very, like, okay, we're going to test you to see if you're really serious about this, and to see if you're serious about ROH. And so, I've been serious about ROH ever since I started. And I can't wait to, just continue on what I've been building on.
Now, pat yourself on the back a little bit here, but if I remember correctly, you're the only guy from your Ring of Honor dojo class that's still with Ring of Honor and still wrestling, right?
Yes, there's one other wrestler, but he had to take a break because his wife is she was immunocompromised.
Oh, okay.
So he had
so for all the right reasons, not doing it.
He had to take a break. He's getting started back up, but as of right now, I'm the only person from my class that's still with ROH.
Very cool, man. What do you think allowed you to sort of start to take the ball and run with it when you joined ROH and initially started wrestling for them full time? Because you look at names like Christopher Daniels and Kenny King and Shane Taylor and the individuals that you stepped in the ring with through your first couple of years, and not many people get those many great opportunities. What do you think that they saw in you, and maybe even those individual wrestlers saw in you to want to step inside the ring with Eli Isom?
So I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know. I really don't know.
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah. When I was being put in those situations, when I look back at it, I was like, there were so many other people that could have been in that spot. But for whatever reason, the higher ups, they had confidence in me and they thought that I could, do the job. And it was really tough because it was kind of like a sink or swim. We're going to throw you out here and we're going to see what happens. So, thankfully it went better than than not. But yeah, I'm not really sure, but maybe it's because, every time I was at an ROH show, I was, I would work hard. I would keep, I would stay humble, and I wasn't, this like egomaniac running around being like, oh, I deserve this, I deserve that. No, since I'm from like Indiana, I'm kind of just like a simple, humble guy. Never really had much growing up, but now that I've been with Ring of Honor, I'm starting to, get some of the things that I never really had, and it's pretty cool.
That's awesome to hear. Obviously, it did work, and you did do, like you said, better than on the worst side of things. Was there maybe any feedback you got, again, from anybody in Ring of Honor or any of the guys you stepped inside the ring specifically with?
Yeah, so pretty much everyone's initial advice for me was to just stick with it. Just stick with it. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Just stay the course. And I think that's, just excellent advice because, well, at the time I was like, oh no, give me more. I need from Christopher Daniels, tell me everything please. But yeah, it's like, you don't want to overload someone who's just starting into wrestling. So I appreciate that, they kept it simple and they kept it sweet. And it's really helped me out for sure.
Awesome to hear. What do you think has allowed ROH to thrive as one of the pandemic promotions, I like to call them? Obviously the independents aren't running. You've really only got the majors going. And a lot of people, rightfully so, have pointed to Ring of Honor as one of those promotions that really was a flag bearer, a standard bearer for what wrestling could be during the pandemic. So what do you think allowed him to do that during a time when, frankly, it's just got to be tough to excel?
Yeah, I think that us at Ring of Honor, we offer something completely different in terms of wrestling. Our wrestling is very hard hitting. It's very, just like grounded, and it's very real, I feel. And especially with like our empty arena shows, because it's very, I always explain it as it's very intimate. It's always, two fighters going at it, and it's not really anybody else is doing something like that. So I think that's really what's been setting us apart during the pandemic.
For a guy like yourself that was always very interactive with the crowd, and like you said, you've come a long way since that come on from the first show. How hard was it for you personally to adjust to no crowd?
Oh, very hard. Extremely hard, because as a wrestler, you're taught to interact at certain points, with the crowd, and, to feed off of them and things of that nature. So when they're not there, you kind of have to change everything that you've been taught to do.
So, shut the entire part of the brain off for that, hey?
Yeah, exactly. So it was definitely hard. I'm used to it now, but now that we're bringing the fans back, I have to get used to them coming back.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, has it been harder to get used to having them back? Because I'd assume, like, in a really sports-based professional wrestling promotion, once you start to focus on the in-ring and start to solely focus on the guy you're face-to-face, or in some cases face-to-face to face-to-face to faces with in your 6-man tags, like, has it been harder, or how have you found that different to readjust to the fans?
So at our last pay-per-view on July 11th at Best in the World, we had the fans back. And it was very hard for me to keep my composure, because I just wanted to go, just 100 miles a minute, just like, let's go, let's get fired up.
Yeah.
But it was really hard for me to contain myself. But I think that's what I'm gonna have to work on going forward, is just keeping my composure and understanding, it's just like it was before. So no need to get too riled up about
it. Well, and personally, man, I think it was a great example of why you've continued to excel throughout this return of Ring of Honor since you came back and stepped inside the ring in March. It was a great match. You've continued to put on great matches. What has allowed you to really take the next step since getting back into the ring?
So it's like I said before, when I, just had a chance to really just watch myself and just to see what I was not doing right or was doing right. I feel like that was just a huge help. Like, it just a really
just sort of like the little detail things then.
Yes, because before the pandemic, we're going to this city, we're going to that city. We don't really have a lot of time in between to really just break things down. So I truly do think that's helped me a lot. Just seeing my faults, getting, kicking them to the curve, and then, building on what I was really good at before.
Oh man, I couldn't even imagine watching my own wrestling matches. Not that I've ever had the opportunity, nor will, hopefully, but couldn't even imagine that. Listening back to my own podcasts and interviews, sometimes I sit there and think, geez, Spence, I couldn't imagine you've got the physical component to it. But we'll ask about future goals here in a second. One that you've been pretty on the record about, however, is the World Television Championship, going after that in the near future, obviously making some steps towards it. But what specifically is it about the World Television Championship, excuse me? Most people would be, I'm going after the heavyweight championship or bust, but what is it for you?
So for me, the World Television title is it's always just been super special to me. The first night I was with Ring of Honor, just working with them, the first match I saw was a World TV title match.
Oh, cool.
And, the guys were just going at it, just full speed, just it's crazy to say, but that title is kind of like the work rate title in ROH, even though everybody in ROH can absolutely go. So that's what makes it special to me. And it also makes it special to me because it elevates guys. A lot of times guys elevate the championship, but the TV title for me, that takes you to the next step. That proves that you belong in ROH. So that's why I've just been absolutely obsessed trying to get that title.
Now, not that I'm complaining about it, because like I said, you've had some great matches because of it, but a little bit sidetracked from that goal over the last little bit due to Misters Castle and Draper. You've teamed with them, which was certainly a cool point for Best in the World, but you are facing off with them on the next Ring of Honor television program. Maybe give me a little bit on working with the both of them. Obviously, I know you want to kick their asses, but what's it meant to you to work with the two of those guys over the last little bit?
So first things first, I didn't even know that Dalton Castle signed me up for that 6-man championship match at the pay-per-view. I was completely as soon as they posted it on Twitter and social media, that's when I found out. And I was
it's like people finding out about getting traded when they're running on the ticker on Sports Center.
exactly. So I was like, all right, I don't like either of them, but if there's a chance to be a world champion Ring of Honor, I'm going to take it. But I found out at the pay-per-view, Dalton Castle had no intentions of winning. He was just trying to, be Mr. Peacock. So that's fine with that. That's his thing. But I've not interested in anything of that nature. I'm interested in championships. I'm interested in building a legacy in ROH. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to beat Dalton Castle. I'm going to beat Dak Draper. And then I'm going to go on and I'm going to win the world television title.
Get back to goal number one, Eli. I absolutely love to hear it. The last thing that I wanted to ask you about, and some of it's a bit of an open forum, but one part is a little bit specific. Obviously, you've talked about your mom and your family's influence on your love of professional wrestling. So maybe just take me a little bit through how much it's meant to you to be able to continue to wrestle and sort of honor her memory that way. And then I do have to ask, the one place you ever said you differed with her was she was a John Cena fan. What'd you think of his return?
Yeah, so the fact that I even get to wrestle it's really a blessing. It really is. And the fact that my mom was the reason for that is, it just means everything to me. So every time I go out and I wrestle, I make it a point to, try to have the best match that I can. Cause hopefully she's, watching down, and I would hate to give her a bad performance. So, but
she'll be the first one to critique.
Oh yeah, she definitely would have been. That's for sure. But in terms of John Cena, I've grown to appreciate John Cena. But when I was a kid,
that was the breaking point.
Yeah, I remember one time in particular, we went to a Raw. And we were up in the top section, and John Cena had came out, and I was booing him like no other. I was just, oh, boo, get out of here. No, like
the Cena sucks portion of the Let's Go Cena sucks.
Exactly. Which was like uncommon because I was like a, 10, 13-year-old kid. So most kids my age, they love John Cena.
Yeah.
But, I was just booing him, blah, blah, blah. And then like I felt a nudge on my back. And I was like, and I kind of went over the rail. I was like, whoa, what's going on? And I looked around, and it was my mom, and she was like, if you leave him one more time, we're leaving. And I was like, all right, fine. So
critiquing now and critiquing then, right? I do have to ask, what does the rest of your family think of you wrestling? Because you've mentioned again before that maybe they weren't so inclined towards the sport as yourself and your mom were, but now that you're into it, what's their sort of flavor for it?
They are in full support, absolute full support.
Awesome to hear.
Yes. And my dad, he was never really big into wrestling at all, but now that he's always asking questions and like who I'm wrestling, and he's like, oh, when are you getting a title shot? When's this happen? So he's really into it now. So I appreciate like my family being in full support of me doing it, because at the beginning when I first started, it was really rough. It was really rough. Since I've had their support, that's the reason I've been able to get through it.
That's wonderful to hear, man. And it was absolutely wonderful to have you on the show. It's been absolutely wonderful to watch you wrestle the last 4 years. And in my biased opinion, it's been that much more wonderfuler, to use some shitty English, to watch you over the last few months. I'm really, really excited to see where you go in the future. Hopefully, my friend, it is directly toward the World Television Championship. But if people want to check you out on the way there, how can they do so on social media, and where and when can they tune into Ring of Honor programming?
So you can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram at Eli Isom, but the Isom is spelled EYESUM. That way, no one, the pronunciation, everyone always. So you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram there, and then you can watch Ring of Honor on your local television networks, or you can watch every Monday on Fight TV or on ROHWrestling.com.
Awesome, friend. I would highly suggest it if you guys haven't tuned into Ring of Honor, since I've been lucky enough to start chatting with a lot of the stars of the promotion. I really don't understand why at this point. They're a fantastic promotion filled with fantastic individuals like Eli has been with his time and will continue to be, hopefully, when we get you on the show in the future, my friend. All of the links to the socials are in the bottom, including to everywhere that you can find this interview, wherever videos are played, wherever audio is listened to, and hopefully wherever articles are written. People get the news out there that Eli Isom is a guy to watch in the near future. And of course, on Ring of Honor programming this Monday is when I tune in. I like being part of the chat room. I like going along with the hashtag and giving my opinion. I enjoy doing it, my friend. Thank you very, very much for your time. And friends, thank you very, very much for tuning in here on Love of Wrestling. For Eli, I've been Spencer Love. We'll catch you on the next one.